In 2015, we left the rat race and went to the farm. We bought a 100-year-old farmhouse and 9 acres. After 3 years of extensive renovations, we can finally call ourselves College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today, we're going to talk about saving seeds. If you follow our channel, you'll know that we grow heirloom vegetables. In order to grow heirloom vegetables, you need to have heirloom seed. Well, heirloom seed just doesn't fall out of a tree somewhere. You have to plan to save it. Now, what we do with our seed, of course, right here is our basil seed. You know, we just take when we save our basil, you can go back and look at our saving basil video, our putting up basil. We cut the seed heads off, put them in a bowl, set them on the back porch, and let them dry. Oh, it makes the back porch smell great. So that's the way we save our basil seed. It's simple, it's straightforward. Okay. Now, next is bean seed. We take beans, we put them on a string, and we hang them. This is for making shuck beans. You can go back and look at our shuck bean video. This happens to be a shuck bean seed. This happens to be a shuck bean, which winds up in a bowl like this, putting them in a bag. We also save things like peppers. And I'm just doing an example. This is our cayennes. We also have strings of jalapenos and habaneros and other pepper varieties that we grow. I don't save bell pepper seed because those are so easy to get at the dollar store that there's no reason to save pepper seed. Eventually I could save pepper, but bell peppers and banana peppers, but like I said, they're so cheap at the dollar store, a quarter a package, that there's no reason to save them. All right. Now, one of my big problems this year, if you've been following the channel, you know that I have a 6-week bean that I want to save a lot of seed for. I want to have a 3-year or 5-year allotment of seed. Now, I'll save seed every year, but what if I get a year like this year? For example, this year I lost seed to 2 heirloom varieties that I had. I lost seed to an heirloom white half runner that we've grown in our family forever, and to the lazy wife beans. Now, lazy wife bean, I can find heirloom seed to that again if I wanted it back, but I'm not so sure I'm going to worry about buying seed from somebody else. The heirloom half runners are not like the half runners that you buy now, which were made to be shipped. You know, the ones today are a lot tougher, and so I really regret that I lost those, but there was nothing I could do about it. This was just a terrible pole bean year. So I lost seed of those. I almost lost seed of my white greasies, but I got enough white greasy beans to save seed back for, so I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is saving in large quantities. For example, a 5-gallon bucket of seed to put up this way, to put up like this, well, that's just hours and hours of work. Well, what if you have 3 or 4 5-gallon buckets? Well, that's just more work than I want to do. This would be 5 or 6 days worth of work sitting there with a needle and thread stringing all these up. Well, I don't want to do that. It's okay if you want to save maybe a pound of seed or something along those lines, but what I'm looking at is saving 20 pounds of seed or 10 pounds of seed or 5 pounds. So I've come up with a system that I think might work. I'm going to give it a shot, and you can see how we're going to do it. Let me get this stuff out of the way, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, here we are back, and I want to talk to you about how to save beans on this scale. I have 3 5-gallon buckets of these red 6-week beans that I want to save. Now, I've looked at a lot of different ways, and I don't want, my mother would lay them out on the car on a sheet to save them. But for me, you got to go out and get them. If it's going to rain, there's a problem. So I'm not going to fool with all that. We're here in the back on our back porch. It's enclosed. It has a nice window. It gets some evening sun. It's on a west facing window. Of course, we've got trees though right out here, so it doesn't get beaten down evening sun. But all these really need is just time. Time and air circulation. So I want to take these and get them laid out, spread out to where air can circulate around them. Well, enter my favorite homesteader place, the Restore. The Habitat for Humanity Restore had these window screens. This is just a full-size window screen. It was $1. I like that. It was $1. I bought them to enclose another porch on the north side of the house so that the mosquitoes won't eat us up in the summertime. So, and because I like to sit out there and pick beans or pick stuff or whatever, pick stuff off after I've harvested it, clean it up. I like to sit outside and do that. Well, I want to enclose that porch. Haven't had time to enclose it with screens yet, but I've found these screens, about 30 of them for $1 a piece. Well, you know me, it's cheap, it's a solution, go for it. So I've got these screens stored up in my barn, and I thought, well, why not utilize them now to dry these beans? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the beans, spread a bunch out on this screen. Now it may take several screens to do this. Okay? I'm going to spread them kind of thin. They don't have to be perfect. I don't think. I hope not. I've never been perfect at anything. You spread these out on your screen. So that they can dry. Now, how many screens will this take? I don't know yet. I've never done it this way, but I'd say it'll work, because you can lay them out on a sheet and they'll dry in your house. But I think the screen might provide a better medium for doing this. Alright, that one's pretty well covered. So what I'm going to do, get some out here to the edges so that these are fairly spread out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I went to my wood shop, collected blocks of wood, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I think I'll put 1 in the center. So now I take another screen, set it up here, setting it on the wooden blocks, lining up all the blocks. Set it on the wooden blocks, and now add more beans. That's a full 5-gallon bucket so far. That's one. Okay, folks, here we are. The screens are about 32 or they may be 34 by about 51. And they held 3 5-gallon buckets pretty easily. Now these will sit out here on the back porch. It may take 3 weeks or 4 for them to completely dry out. But they'll get completely dry. And over the winter, Crystal and I will sit with a great big old dish pan and crack the seeds out and put them up. So this is one of those things that takes a while. But if you want to have seed on your homestead that's an heirloom variety, you have to be prepared to save it. Now, the reason I did it this way, again, is to kind of ensure my bean seed security. Like I said, I lost 2 heirloom varieties this year because it was just a terrible year for pole beans here where I live. There was so much rain and the corn did great. Matter of fact, I think I was reading the other day and it was a record year for corn in Kentucky. So corn did great. Beans, on the other hand, didn't do so hot. So, but I got seed for the beans that I have to have. I can buy white half-runner seed, but I doubt that I go do that. So what I'm going to do, I'll wait for these to dry, and then me and Crystal we'll shell them out, put them in baggies, and they'll be ready for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't freeze my seed. You can go back and look at my video about saving seed and about how we have our seed, how we store our seed. So it's time for me to get on to the next thing. I'd like to thank you for visiting with us at College Hill Farm today. I hope you found our videos entertaining and or informative. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on both Facebook and YouTube. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.